It's how-do season. We're gonna start getting the YouTube going. So I'm gonna be ripping a vlog today, guys. So I'm gonna take you through just my pre-workout setup. It's about 10 a.m. or sorry, 11 a.m. where I am right now. So I'm gonna rip you pre-workout. We're gonna go through a workout and then we're gonna try and fire this up. So bear with me. This is my first actual vlog that I'm hitting up. All right, guys, we're getting our stuff ready to head out, hit our session. So I'm going to walk you through my pre-intra and post-workout stacks. I've already mixed them for all intents and purposes, just so we don't have to sit here and then tediously scoop everything in while I'm breaking it all down for you. Okay, so we'll start with the intra, because this one's the most comprehensive. So usually I'll mix up about a liter of water. Then my tried and true, my intracarb supplement. I like to use this one here. It's ATP Pentacarb. Not endorsed by this brand at all, but if they want to send me some of this stuff, I wouldn't be opposed because it's amazing. So it's got the potato maltodextrin, some gluten-free waxy maize, rice maltodextrin, some cluster dextrin. Also has some magnesium, potassium citrate for a little bit of an electrolyte kick. Great supplement. I'll be friggin' putting my money toward that till the day I die. And I usually get unflavored for that one because then I just feel like it's more optimal for mixing in my EAAs. And then here, creatine, I like to take this intra. Just works best for me. And I'm not having to piss every 5 seconds when I'm taking a pre-workout. And then I'm not forgetting to take it post-workout. So 10 grams gets mixed in with the intra. Then I sip on this as I train. Okay, hence the intra workout. Been taking 10 grams of creatine every day for like 6 years. Okay, since I progressed from the typical 5 grams or the standard 5 grams, sorry. It's been working for me. I'll be taking creatine again for life. It's an absolute staple of a supplement, and it's the most researched supplement that you can actually buy besides protein. And then here, we got the taurine. Reason I like taking taurine, I get really bad exertion headaches and cramps. Like I get the lower back pumps and things like that. So taurine I find is one of the main supplements that helps with that. So I'll mix up 3 to 6 grams with my intra, sip on it while I'm training, and I don't have to deal with stuff like that. Especially if you're taking like 5 milligrams of Cialis or tadalafil, sorry, pre-workout. For whatever reason, there's the odd time where tadalafil just doesn't agree with me. I get good pumps from it, but it just gives me like ripping headaches, exertion headaches, and I can't be dealing with that. So yeah, that's the intra. So we got that ready to go. And then lately, for those of you who will be watching my short form content, you know how many times you hear me trash on stim prees. But since I've been training earlier in the day as of late, I've been ripping a little bit of a stim pre. I'm not a big caffeine guy at all. I don't drink coffee anymore. I haven't drank it in like 8 weeks. I haven't had an energy drink in 8 weeks. So a half to a 3/4 scoop of this gets me cranked. Like I'm absolutely flying when I go in off like 200 to 250 megs of caffeine. And that's perfect for me. Like I don't need to be doing any more than that. Because also too, depending on the day or what I'm doing for that day for my training, sometimes I just get crazy anxiety with the caffeine, like coagulate with that. We can't be dealing with that, man. It's just you're starting to tweak out, starting to crash out mid-workout. So you can't be dealing with that. So this one here, I like to use the Havoc 137. It's clean, it's nice, it's balanced. It's not too strong, not too light. It's like perfect for me. And then usually what I'll do too, mix in some pink Himalayan sea salt in there. Those of you guys know, you know, pink Himalayan sea salt. Sodium's a good electrolyte, helps gets the vasodilators pumping, doing their job, the citrulline, things like that. And then lastly, we got the post-workout shake. I'll do about a scoop to a scoop and a half of whey or whey isolate, whatever I got on hand. Then again, my tried and true, and I like to mix some intracarbs in there, like even about a half scoop to a full scoop. Get a good like 20 to 30 grams of carbs in there just to kind of help get things going, shuttle those nutrients around while you're nice and insulin sensitive and receptive to everything. I'm not going to use the word anabolic window. That's bro science, but I just like to add those carbs in. I just feel like it helps keeps me satiated within that 20-minute window until I get to come home and have my like actual post-workout meal. And then I'll mix in 10 grams of glutamine in there as well. Just kind of helps keep the gut settled as I'm putting down X amount of protein and carbs in one shot. Because with a shake, you friggin' drink it in 2 minutes, right? So having that glutamine in there kind of helps keep the stomach calm as you're putting that down. Helps with recovery as well. Okay, so this is all locked in, guys. Getting ready to go. All right, guys, so that wraps up my intra, pre, and my post-workout stacks for sports ups anyway. You guys know that I'm a maximalist when it comes to output. Okay, when I'm going to the gym, we're going in there to train. Okay, maximum intensity to make gains. We're not going in there to pussyfoot around. Hey guys, so it's a beautiful day outside where I am, nice and sunny, around 12 p.m. And then I got a pull day on the menu today. So I'm gonna be hitting some back, biceps, and some rear delts. And that's it. If, if my perspective is chopped on this, let me know, because it's my first time actually filming in horizontal fashion as a vlog. All right, guys, so that wraps that up. We'll see you when you get to the gym. How do? All right, guys, we're just gonna start with a little warm up here. I already got the bulk of my warm up done. So just 5 minutes on the treadmill. I'll do some dead hangs on the bar, and then just some mobility work just to kind of open up the thoracic chain. And then here, I just do some primer work before I actually get into the real lift. And then we go from there. Right now, the gym's looking steady. There's not too many ops around here. I don't know what it is with where I'm located, but people just, for whatever reason, just can't stand it when somebody's trying to film content in the gym. So we're just gonna try and keep focused and do what we gotta do. I never understood the reason why people get so salty about people trying to record content in the gym. It's understandable, but if you're being courteous about it, I don't see what the issue is. Usually I just try to come at times that aren't so busy outside of peak hours, just so I'm being mindful of others and not impeding with their lifts, right? So there's ways around it. You just can't let it discourage you. Yeah, so here I'll hit 2 sets each side just to prime the lat. I've already done my rotator cuff work, my shoulder mobility. We'll just kind of do some work with the TRX bands, just with some body weight lifts up with the shoulder. Then we'll go from there. And then here, I'm just starting out with a lower row, or just like a standard cable row. Lately I've been working from the bottom up. So I'll hit the lat, then I'll work my way up to my overhead movements at the end. So I'll hit my lat pull downs and stuff like that at the end. Okay, so let's get into it. First up, we just got a seated cable row. My gym doesn't really have a proper neutral grip. Like, let me give you an idea what we're working with here. This is the piece of junk we have. Okay? It's just techno gym garbage. So we don't really mess around with that. Straps get stuck on it. It's not efficient. So what I like to do, I take the D handles and I just make my own variation of it. I'm still gonna get that extra little bit of range that the neutral grip will provide. And it leaves me from having to use or settle for the V grip. And I don't really like that handle. So we're gonna get this going, working my way up to 2 top sets, and then I'm grinding it to failure. So if you wanna boil it down, it's probably 1 RIR, but I try to take it right to failure. And I'm hitting it probably for a good 8 to 10 solid reps. So let's get after it. When I'm progressing through my warm-up, my feeder sets, what I like to do is go as slow as I can on the eccentric, and a concentric, I'll just explode into it. And then usually on the top set, that's where I'm kind of emulating that same tempo, but I try to keep it a little bit more fluid, so I'm sure I'm just keeping my form right and not compromising that. So I'm working away for the last little while. I can rip the full stack, it's just gonna be sloppy. I feel like keeping a good neutral position there around my body weight or a bit more just gives me good leverage, good tempo. It's just a way better active stimulus as opposed to just slanging the weight around. There are days where I will do that though. And I also feel like I need to get a shirt that says, don't worry about the camera. Too many people try to tiptoe around it. Freaking walk in front of the camera, I don't give a. Next up, we just have a single arm dumbbell row. Pretty standard movement. Are there better options, more stable options? Yes, but not in my gym, unfortunately. I don't really have that much utility here. So this is best case option for me for what I'm doing, what I try to do. And it's just a good unilateral movement because I like doing my bent over rows unilateral. So yeah, usually I'll do these a bit heavier. It's a strong movement for me. I have my form locked in pretty solid. So let's get after it. 2 to 3 top sets, right to failure. As one thing I always preach is just work with what you have. Not everybody's gonna have a state-of-the-art gym, like a Pure Muscle and Fitness or an MI40 or whatever it may be, loaded with insane utility, like the top of the line equipment, right? Your Panada, NewTek, Prime Fitness. So just work with what you have. If you gotta compromise a little bit of optimality or stability for a more old school movement or for something that's a little bit more compound, recruiting more muscle fibers and muscle tissues, just get after it, man. At the end of the day, I maximize output. When I think about maximizing output, I'm maximizing my intensity and I'm not stressing over trivial shit. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for optimality and do what I can to do to make movements more ergonomic and efficient. But when it comes down to it, I'm not gonna have my workout hindered or sit there and just go into an analysis paralysis over the movements that I'm doing, right? It's like these guys who will sit there for an hour waiting to get a specific piece of machine or equipment to do what they need to do. Like if something's taken, if a Smith machine's taken and there's a lineup on it, I'm gonna compromise and just work around it, think of an alternative. All right, that wraps that one up. Let's move on to the next one. Let's scratch that. I was gonna hit lat pull downs, but I'm gonna hit a couple KFs instead. I haven't really worked this in before, and I wanna see how it feels because it looks like a sick movement. So shout out Keenan for that one, but more or less, we're just working with a moderate weight, sorry. This is my first time hitting it. Stability's a bit questionable. I just put some napkins under the bench just to try and stabilize it a bit, and this bench is just chopped. So we're gonna see how we can work this in, see how it feels, and then I'll give a rating after. I'd easily give this an 8 out of 10 with a better setup, with better foundation. I'm honestly gonna invest in some cuffs so I can program this. I honestly don't know why this movement gets so much hate. It's amazing, felt great. All right guys, that concludes all my back movements. We're gonna get into the bicep topper now. So I'll probably hit 2 to 3 bicep exercises and then keep the movements, again, similar to what I was doing. So 2 top sets. Really try to warm up the bis because for whatever reason, my forearms have just been getting jacked right up as of late. So I hit my arm day specific on Monday and my forearms are still super tight. And that's rubbing Voltaren on them, hit them with the massage gun and stuff. So we don't want to be messing around or tweaking nothing. So let's get into it. I really like this movement. Opens everything up really nice. And then me personally, I feel like it takes out a bit of the shoulder flexion that comes from forward facing if you set it up properly, if you're not trying to crank the weight. This one here, I'm just going up to about an RPE 6. And then I'm really squeezing at the top. Definitely not fully extending either. Open up. Maybe I wouldn't go as far as to say it's ruling out the shoulder flexion, but even with this one here, I have 50 pounds on there and it humbles you right up. Like 8 or 9 reps, I'm starting to gas out. This final movement of the day, I'm just hitting this arm supported curl. This here really biases the long head. This machine is a great concept, but the Techno Gym one isn't. It's not wide enough. To me, I like to lean into it just to get a linear motion and linear line of resistance with my arm. So I'm leaning into it. My elbow rubs against this pivot point here. All in all though, it's pretty good if you're to make use of it. If you're able to hit it properly and actually get a good stimulus, it's really effective. All right guys, that wraps up the session. That was a solid pull day, mainly just back and bis. I know I said I was gonna do rear delts, but I just ended up topping it off. Didn't have enough time and I'm starting to get depleted. I just finished my post-workout shake. But again, guys, if you made it this far, I appreciate you for tapping in. I'm gonna be trying to get more vlogs going like this, a little bit more long form content. I feel like it's a bit more suited to my personality as opposed to the short form stuff. Don't get me wrong, I like doing the short form content. It's just hard to keep people tapped in when I like to talk. Like that's my energy, right? It's hard to do this split second style content that's very fickle and like trying to hook people in and do all that freaking hook spamming nonsense. I can't be doing all that. So the OGs, the guys who are tapped in, I appreciate you for watching in this far. And then when it boils down going forward, I'm gonna try to aim for 2 YouTube videos a week. That's a good start. I feel like that's a good goal to set. And then also too, guys, when it comes to my sessions, nothing's set in stone, right? I progress specific movements. I change things in and out as I see fit. And then that's what I always recommend to you guys as well, okay? Never be changing things up too quick. Allow yourself enough time to progress within your sessions and your splits. And then that's how you're gonna yield results, okay? If you're at all interested in having a conversation about one-on-one coaching, information's in the description. And then be sure to check out my Instagram and my TikTok as well, guys. It's at @BDownFitness across all platforms, okay? Again, I appreciate you so much. Like, comment, subscribe, and then leave any comments or feedback in the comments, on what you want to see next or if there's anything I can improve with these videos. How do?